I'll just introduce myself, I guess. So my name's Alyssa. I am a hand lettering artist and a calligrapher, and I do most of my work is in weddings and events, and I do a lot of like invitations and signs, and I do like live art and things at events and stuff. So that's where most of my work is. But I'm sure a lot of you guys get that, you know, when you're doing creative for work, you're like working with someone else's, you know, idea or requirements, and so you're kind of, you know, you can be a little bit just like following the mold of what someone else is asking of you. But I think this will just be kind of a fun little way for us to create something that's personal. This is really going to be kind of like just like a starting point for a few different projects, since we're, you know, all doing everything digital. Something about like an analog card is really nice. I know when I get something in the mail, like a little card or something, and I do sometimes, not very often, but when I do, it always feels really special. So we'll make some fun cards and things. I mean, maybe for Father's Day or birthdays or things that are still happening in COVID. I have a few different ideas. I'm gonna kind of take us through maybe like 3 or 4 lettering genius. Gosh, wow, so much pressure. I'm actually making these a pretty like low expectation when it comes to the hand lettering portion. I feel like that's like a whole lesson for a whole like 2-hour session, which we're not doing today. We're doing kind of like easy, quick. Hi, Pastor Nicole. We're gonna do like an easy, quick tutorial just to kind of get you guys started with a few different ideas. Danny, oh my gosh, this girl, if you haven't had your baby, I'm like, what day is it? You must be so pregnant. So just a few ideas to get you started. This is just something that like I made. I was like kind of going off of like the terrazzo, like really cute themes like terrazzo and just like those fun organic shapes and geometric shapes. So we'll go through a couple of different projects to kind of get you started on your little cards. So I'm gonna show you guys some of the Mrs. Sanders. Oh my gosh, from Anders to Sanders. So exciting. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Anyways, you guys, she just got married in quarantine. So please congratulate Mrs. Sanders. We're so excited for you. My mom is on here. This is going to be so fun. Cool. So I'm going to show you some of the materials that I'm going to be working with. So these are not at all required, just some fun things that you can kind of get started with. So let me turn you around so you can see my workspace. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I'm going to show you a few different things that we're going to be working with here. First and foremost, cardstock. So I highly recommend just like a thicker cardstock. Oops, here are my envelopes. Definitely something thicker than like a copy paper. Copy paper is just not really going to stand up to, you know, a lot of crafting. So I definitely recommend something that's got a little bit more weight to it, and something that's going to hold, you know, glue or watercolor or anything like that. So those are just a few sheets of cardstock that I took and I scored them. I always try and measure my cardstock out to the size that I want it to fit in for the envelope. Like, you don't want to make a whole card and then you're like, oh shoot, it doesn't fit in the envelope. So, you know, you might want to consider like some standard envelope sizes for a thank you card size. Like this is kind of like a standard thank you card. It's 3.5 inches by 5 inches, just about, and it'll fit into an envelope like this just perfectly. So measure out your cardstock in advance. I use like a bone folder. I think I put mine away. A bone folder or like a butter knife or something. The back of a butter knife with a ruler will help you create a little score line there. So that way when you fold it, you don't have cracking along the edge. Just a little insider tip if you don't want to, you know, end up folding your thing crooked or something. So that's my cardstock. I've also got a few other supplies. I've got some watercolor. This is a liquid watercolor, but you can really literally use like this palette. I'm pretty sure someone just gave it to me. I'm pretty sure Jen Albert gave this to me, and like any kind of watercolor can work. Any kind of craft that you have in mind, like any sort of paint or I don't know, materials, if you want to do cutouts of materials and things like that. That's one of the projects that we're going to work with today as well. It's just taking things like magazine clippings and turning that into a really cool piece of like abstract modern art. So that'll just like make for really stylish cards. So I'll show you, I haven't actually made the destination card, the final card for this yet. So we're going to come up with something really cool together. So I think to start off, we'll work with some watercolors. A few important and helpful things to know. You're going to want to have your water handy just so you can rinse, maybe a little like towel or paper towel or something to dab your paint on. As you're working with your paints, I like to prep my palette in advance because I want to know what colors I'm working with. So this is helpful. I just make like a little swatch chart of the colors that I have, so I kind of know what I'm putting on my paper and what it's going to look like. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab, I'm using a paper that's meant to be used more or less for mixed media, like watercolors and things. So let's do this size for our first card. So if you have any watercolors, go ahead and grab those. I'm gonna work with like a really, really easy to copy design first. So grabbing my watercolors here, and I'm just gonna wanna create like a really like loose, organic, kind of trendy design. Let me grab, you're probably gonna want something to paint on top of, like just a sheet of paper or something, just so you're not getting paint all over. Hi, Lorianne. I haven't checked this chat, so anyways, hi. Yeah, let's see, I've got my warm palette. I'm feeling maybe a little of this like light shell pink. And we're gonna do kind of like this organic design, and then we'll be able to kind of like write a message right in the middle. So when you're working like with a really large watercolor design, I definitely recommend not doing it on a light color or on a very like lightweight paper, because it will soak through and you're going to end up with a really like wimpy piece of warped paper. So definitely you're going to want to work on either a watercolor paper. Like I said, I use like a multimedia paper, which is thicker and stands up a lot better to use with liquids. And for something like this, like it's not even exact, like it doesn't have to look a certain way. This is just like a totally abstract shape. And the cool thing about watercolors that I really love is that like you can't really make a lot of mistakes. So for something like this, I'll start with a really like light wash of color, and then I'll come back in and just like add like some thicker drops of paint, and it'll kind of do this like cool thing where it'll spread on its own. And so you'll see it like naturally kind of spreading out and doing like its watercolory thing. So I'm just literally going to leave it like that. I like the like variation of light wash and like a little bit more opaque color. And then I think I'll do, why don't we do a little bit of this like orange. My color's kind of settled here, but this is just a kind of a burnt poppy orange. I don't know, I'm just making things up now. And so again, just like a really like organic, hard to mess up shape. Just fill this in lightly with your watercolors and just a little bit of water to help kind of like spread that out. And then as you come back with a little bit more of the paint, you can kind of add that in and it'll sort of spread on its own and sort of do this like organic watercolor thing. So yeah, I'm gonna let that dry for just a little bit. Actually, let's do something else. Let's add just a little, like, because it's so trendy, we'll add like a little thin line that sort of like parallels the line that you're, or the edge of the shape that you're working on. It's like a very, I'm pretty sure you saw like in the branding for this tutorial, something really similar. It's a very trendy thing right now, but you can make it on your own. So look at you. So yeah, we'll come in and just use, I'm using like a super, super thin, I don't know if you can see that, a super thin liner brush. And we're gonna come in and just parallel this shape. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, which is awesome. Very forgiving because we are just having fun and not holding ourselves to some sort of crazy expectation today. So I'm gonna come back and do that same thing with this shape. Cool. Organic, fun. You guys can totally do this. See, isn't it so easy? It's so easy. It's not even hard. You can't mess it up. But look how cool like these watercolors are starting to look as the paint is settling. So I'm gonna go ahead and just set this aside. We're gonna let that dry before we touch it again. That's a huge lesson in making stuff, you guys. Hold on, let me just pause here for a second. Huge lesson in making anything like this is that you should always set it aside to dry and don't touch it. Like, I made so many mistakes, just like, oh, I'm gonna see if it's dry enough. Let me just try, and then I just ruin it. So don't do that. Anyways, let's continue. Okay, so coming back to our canvas, we're gonna start on our next project. Which is this like fun terrazzo style. Again, you guys, it's really, really hard to mess something like this up. It's just so like easy and fun, and I'm gonna show you how to kind of get this like terrazzo look. So I'm gonna set this aside so you can see it for inspiration here. But we're gonna go ahead and take just a blank card again. And we've got all our colors here. I think I might make the next one a little heavier on the pink. The reason being I have some darker colors in here that might sort of make it hard to read if I decide to write something over it. So we're gonna take a couple of different brush sizes. I'm gonna use something about this size. The bottom one here is probably good for a project like this. And then, yeah, the little thin one is a little too thin. So grab your paint and you literally just start drawing shapes. That's it. Like, it's the easiest, you guys. It's so easy. So I'm gonna start with my mustard yellow. And like, if you've ever seen terrazzo, which is just super trendy right now, it's literally just like little flecks of color and shapes, like in these totally nondescript shapes. They don't even look like anything. They're just any shape. So you can just literally create random shapes in different sizes. This happens a lot too. I think I have paint on my hand somewhere, so I'm gonna try and not get that everywhere. Paint in different sizes and shapes. They can be any shape. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. Any shape. And different sizes, so we'll do some like little small guys, some medium ones, some little just dots and dashes. And then the fun part, this is the fun part. Take a little bit of, I'm gonna water this down just a teensy bit, but a little bit of watercolor on your brush. Allie, you are gonna make so many cards. It's also better to do these in batches. Like, if you're gonna spend this much time on a card, you might as well make a bunch of them. You could even do like a whole sheet and then cut them into different cards. But anyways, so the fun part is like getting these little, see these little specks that kind of help make it look not like there's a bunch of blank white space. You just take your brush that's wetted with the paint and you kind of spray it like this. And it helps to fill some of that negative space. I don't know if you can see it very well. I can get you a little bit closer, I think. but you just spray it like this, and it helps to fill out some of that space. So we're gonna do this again with all our colors. I have this really pretty like melony color that I'm really enjoying right now, so I'm gonna add some of that. Just random fun. This is very therapeutic because again, you're not like desperately trying to make something look super realistic. It's just fun. So here we are creating shapes in different sizes and colors. We're gonna spray. And then I think I'm gonna bring in just a little bit more. I'm gonna bring in some more pinks because I like pink. I have this kind of peachy pink color here, and I want to pull in a little bit of that. I'm trying to work quickly here, you guys, because I don't know how many of you are actually doing this and if this is fun to just watch when you're not doing it. So I'm going to move quickly to create this little terrazzo landscape. And then I have one more, like my light pink that I want to add in here. Cool. I'm feeling good about this. I feel like it's looking quite terrazzo-esque. And it was the easiest. It was so easy. So we're going to let that dry. Taking notes. It's just, yeah, I mean, take notes if you want. Should be pretty easy to replicate. I'm going to set this aside along with our other watercolor, which is looking pretty good. Don't touch it, Alyssa. And then I'm going to move on to a slightly different kind of craft, I suppose, using our little clippings here. So my thought and my idea behind this is that, I mean, everybody has like random magazines where you like see things in magazines and you, oh, thank you. The color merchandising from the pro, she knows. I feel like I always like when I don't buy a lot of magazines, but when I see them, I just like want printed, just like to keep all my printed stuff, like, because it's cute and it's pretty and I love the colors and stuff, but I have nothing to do with them. I know Laura had put up like a mood board that she did that was really cool, or like an inspiration board, but I just don't. I'm a creative, but I just like don't have like the patience almost to sit down and do something like that. So here's a fun craft that you can do that's really, really easy and just fun. So I'm gonna take these like little swatches of like colors and textures that I really liked, and I want to turn it into like a cool geometric card. And I've seen some really cool things trending that I've been wanting to incorporate in something, and it doesn't always work for something like a wedding invitation. So this is like a fun way that I think we can incorporate this into some stationery. So there's this one theme that I've been wanting to try, and it's like, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a little like dome-shaped door and then like a sun and a staircase. And I don't know what, it's so exotic and like romantic, and I just like, it makes me want to go to Morocco or something. So I want to kind of imitate that and create something along those lines. So I'm just going to take these swatches. I think I want to use this really fun kind of like brownish pink, and I'm just going to cut this into that like dome door shape that I was talking about. And I think the cool thing about this style is that, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, that's kind of the fun part, is that it doesn't have to be 100% geometric. Like, organic shapes are very, very trendy right now. So I'm going with it. I'm just going to go with the flow. Okay, what else? What other colors do I want to use? How about if you see something you like, you can vote. Ooh, this is fun, this watercolor texture. I think I might, how about if I use, we need some like contrast, right? It's always good to have a little contrast. Let's see. I like this. This is fun. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but it's a picture of a plant. And I want this plant in my house, but I don't have this plant. So I'm gonna use it in my art instead. I don't know, we'll see how that turns out. You guys, I am literally just like having fun doing stuff, so don't mind my antics. Yeah, I think that goes good. Maybe this color will give a good contrast, and we'll do that like staircase shape. Very easy. Literally just cutting at right angles here. If you guys have kids, I bet your kids have done this. So you can do this. I believe in you. Even if you don't have kids, I still believe in you. So something like that to kind of layer. You kind of catching my drift here. Okay, so I think this is like a pretty good basis, my shapes here. I kind of want to like layer these. I'll probably layer them something like this and then add kind of like I don't know if I actually love this anymore. I changed my mind a lot. Let's see. Maybe something like pink, like true pink. Maybe I'll use that. I'm gonna use this. Like, is that too much pink? I thought I had another pink. Anyways, well, we're gonna go with that then, because I can't find my other pink. Well, I would have never thought of this either, except you get inspired by stuff. So I'm gonna do that, and then I think I'm gonna add kind of like a multimedia aspect to it and kind of pull in some paint as well. So let's just start with, I've got this little thank you size card like I was telling you guys earlier. And funny thing about quarantine is you can't get glue very quickly. So I found out that my glue, it was like rock hard, so I'm gonna use this. Haha. Yeah, I actually went to go look at my glue and it was pretty much as hard as a rock, so that's not gonna work. All right, we're just gonna glue these babies on. This is actually what some of your kids do in school, I guarantee it. All right, so now for application. Layering is key and makes things so much more interesting. I think the theme of this is gonna be like, wish you were here, because it feels kind of like exotic and getaway-ish with like the door and the stairs. It feels like, I don't know, like you're going somewhere. But we're not going anywhere because we are in lockdown, so we'll just dream about it. How about that? So we've got some cool like organic shapes, and the cool thing about like, you know, getting magazine clippings and things, you have different textures and stuff that you're working with, so that's kind of fun. I think I'm gonna like paint in sun. Why don't we do, I'm gonna use this like thick paint and we'll just see what happens. I actually don't know how this is gonna turn out. So I kind of wanted to use something to add a little texture. So I'm just throwing this thick textured paint on to kind of give it a little added layer of dimension. If you don't have that, that's okay. I actually find that those like 99-cent acrylic paints are pretty awesome for like all kinds of crafts. It's like the ones that you find at Joann or just any, they probably have them at Target, but I don't know, just thought it'd be fun to kind of have a little texture on there. But you can find those just about anywhere. Those little, they're like the little like tubes that are this big. You guys, I'm telling you, Brittany, it's so easy. Like you're just cutting stuff out and you can do it in any shape. Like it doesn't even, like these are just very easy shapes, so you could do it any shape that you wanted. And then just glue them on. Like first grade style. Yeah, so I'm gonna let this guy dry. And we're gonna do our final design because I know it's 5:30. We're gonna do our final design. I'm gonna come back and letter out just a message on these to kind of leave you with that inspiration. So the last design that I wanted to do with you is a similar kind of situation. Geometric shapes in different like textures and things. Because I found some textures that I really loved and wanted to show you like what it would look like to like just mix them up and have something different. So I like dome shapes. That's like a very trendy shape right now, like a half circle. So I'm gonna make a little half circle because I saw this wood and was just like, oh my gosh, it would look so cool as a shape. And so here we are, we're doing it. Ooh, the white is actually kind of fun. It's a little too big. I'm gonna trim this down. And we have this cool dome shape. I don't know if you can kind of see where I'm going here, but come with me on the journey, on the creative journey. Let's see, I'm really liking this yellow. I'm very much enjoying the way pink looks with this. And this watercolor is kind of fun. Ooh, even better. You guys, I don't know what this is. It looks delicious. I want to eat it, but I'm going to turn it into a shape. So like half circle things are super trendy, but I'm going to turn this into like a more of like an arch. So I've got this like arch shape. I don't know. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I like that texture. And then maybe like another pink to kind of complement it. So I'm gonna make a smaller one to kind of go. I mean, I just want to frame this. Look at this. It's from this magazine called My Magazine. And I know the girl who like decided she wanted to make like a very like positive, uplifting, like doesn't make you compare yourself with other people kind of magazine, and it's great. Highly recommend. Don't tell her that I'm cutting up her magazine. It's going to good use. Maybe she'll even get one of my cards. But we're gonna like layer. Oh, this is just like a teensy bit too big actually. We're gonna layer our shapes. Ooh, why don't I do this? Ooh, this is good. This is good, guys. I'm getting inspired. I'm gonna do this, and then I think I just want like a circle to stack on top of it or something from this pretty like gold color. Oh, sorry, I'm like not even on camera. Here we go. Cutting out my gold circle shape. Noob over here, guys. Like not even doing things on camera. Moving things out of the way. Oh, wait, I found the pink I was looking for. Shoot. All right, so I think I have all the shapes that I want. I'm kind of enjoying this like stacked geometric shape thing. And then I think I'll leave just enough space to put like a message on the top. So it's time to glue. It's glue time. Turn all my guys over. You have all those supplies. I'm telling you, like a lot of you probably have the stuff that you need. Oh, I'm stuck. Here we go. Okay. Last but not least. All right, we're gonna stack our guys here. Kind of, oops, I'm stuck. Okay, this guy's gonna nest inside here. And then this is gonna stack on top of here. come to a paint night, guys. That sounds so fun. West Side Paint Night, is that a thing? Okay. We've got our fun little stacked shapes. I've got my wood texture and my dessert texture that kind of just looks like stone or something. So yeah, we've got kind of a good starting point where we can add a little text here. So that's going to be kind of the finishing touch on these. I wanted to, like I said earlier when we started, I wanted to keep this pretty like low key on the lettering part, just because I feel like that's a whole other lesson, and also it's just so much pressure. Use a pencil or like draw a straight line if you're worried about like it kind of going wonky or something. But just like, I mean, I don't know, you're making these cards for what, Father's Day, or like just thinking of you, or happy birthday, or whatever it is. So yeah, you can just letter in your message, whatever it is, and then of course you can write your personalized note inside. So this one, I don't know, I think I'll just keep this one really simple. And I'm going to use, I'm just using a felt tip pen. I find that felt tip is pretty helpful. Like when I say felt tip, I mean like this. And something not too, I want to see it, Natalie. Something not too thin. Oops, I'm throwing paintbrushes. Anything too thin will honestly not be super forgiving when you're like trying to letter something out very carefully. So a felt tip will just like allow the edges to kind of mesh into each other a little bit more seamlessly. So for this guy, I'm gonna want it to say, how about if it says love you? I just like love you just by itself. So I like a nice thin text for a nice like modern look. So we'll just keep it nice and simple like that. Let's come back to our other cards. I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's see how our other cards turned out. I'm not sure that this guy, I think it should be dry enough. Like I said, you definitely want to let them dry completely before you touch them. This is looking great, completely dried and looks lovely. The tricky thing with watercolors, when you're working on drawing over watercolors, some things, like if your paper is not completely dry, like they're gonna wanna like spider out on the parts that you watercolored. So be careful when you're lettering on anything that you've painted with wet media like that. This one, how about if it says, the writing? Yeah, I'd say pencil it in first before you actually write it with ink. That's like how I started when I was starting to do hand lettering. I didn't actually just like go with like ink on paper. I'd like pencil everything first. So if writing is a thing that you're like nervous about ruining your piece or something, just like pencil it and then ink it, and then you can erase the pencil marks afterwards. So for this one, I feel like this is like a very like birthday kind of thing. So I'm gonna make this one a happy birthday card. I think I'm gonna center it right in the middle like this. So again, I want to kind of keep these like really simple and modern, so I'm going to keep the lettering pretty not like overly crazy, and I might not even overlap it on the paint, so I don't have to worry about that running and like spidering of the ink. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So we'll make a nice little simple happy birthday card. What is my best tip when it comes to lettering? Best tip, whoa. Best tip is probably like I said, do like pencil it in first. Yeah, lettering I think is a whole other class, guys, but I would say pencil it in first, and also like creating a line or something in pencil will be really helpful just to keep it straight, or like using a ruler or a piece of paper to help keep you straight across your page when you're, not doing this professionally all the time. And then I would say like consistency with your angle is really helpful. Like to have everything kind of going slanted in the same metallic angle makes things look a lot neater than they sometimes are. Like when I do work for Sweet Green on their source boards, like it looks extremely neat and clean, but it's really just because the lines are all completely straight and parallel. Like the letters themselves individually are not like all perfect. Like I am just like writing super fast, but it really has to do with the fact that it's like consistently spaced and everything. So anyways, that's probably my best tip when you're kind of just like getting started and trying to work on your technique. I think this one, I want it to be a thank you card. So let's just have this guy say thanks. I'm kind of enjoying just like a really like messy look when it comes to thank you cards, or sorry, when it comes to like more casual kinds of cards and things, just like something that's like not overly calligraphy-ish. So this is fun. I also did it a little off to the side. It's not completely centered, but I don't know. There are ways to get around that. I can add like a heart or something. I don't know. Again, we're not putting a lot of pressure on ourselves this time. So last but not least, we're gonna come back to this design. I'm like really enjoying the texture of this sun situation. It's getting dark in here, but kind of keeps it fun and interesting. Yeah, I love this one too. This one's fun. I think, like I said, it feels kind of like wish you were here because we just want to be around the people that we love. So I think that's what I'm gonna write on it. Like, how do I want to do this? Wish you were here. I don't know, guys. We're just gonna go with the flow here. I kind of feel like a little like staircase like situation would be fun here, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, kind of fun and kind of mirrors that like staircase feel. So yeah, we came up with some really cool, different, trendy card designs that I hope will kind of give you some inspiration for things that you can do on your own time as you're writing letters and cards and things to people from afar. Like Ms. Natty Nat just said, please, 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 if you create something or just did, tag C3LA she at c3la.she. Tag me. I'd love to see what you came up with hold on, here I am. Hi. I'd love to see what you came up with. If you want to tag me on Fawn Lettering, that would be awesome. Yeah, I hope you guys had fun and had a good, like, relaxing, creative time. Let me know if you have any questions. And then I totally want to see what you created, Laura. 100%. Like, no pressure. Remember, I told you this whole class like is very low pressure. There's no pressure. But yeah, show me what you created. So glad that you guys tuned in. Hope that you had fun. Tune back in tomorrow, actually later this evening, 8 p.m. Pastor Lisa Kendall, I believe is her name. She is gonna be doing kind of like a mama's night, and she's like the queen of mamas. I think she has like 1 million kids. Is that accurate? 1 million kids, right? She has like 8 kids, and so she's amazing and she's great. And so I highly recommend that you tune in if you're a mama. How did you get those watercolors in that cute little tray? Oh, you get like liquid watercolors. They come in little tubes like this, and then you add water. And so you kind of like use your tray to contain everything. Yeah, otherwise if you just do it in a pan, like when it comes in a pan like this, you can just do it straight in there. Yeah, tune back in tonight. Tomorrow, Mrs. Candida Wolgameth, the very amazing and wonderful lady who has a very amazing curated life, is going to be taking over Instagram tomorrow. So she's going to be showing us all of her life. I want to get inside her day. So she's going to be hosting tomorrow. So jump on then. Again, tag, show me what you came up with. I love you. I'm so glad that we got to craft together, and I can't wait to see what you created. Love you guys.